So good evening to everyone. It's good to see our friends have stayed back till wee hours now. So we're going to have a more of an interactive session on opportunities in Africa, more to do with manufacturing opportunities, and definitely some to do with export opportunities. So before I get started, uh, there's a short, I think a 60-second video, which
70% of the world's cocoa, 53% of the world's cashew. The resource-rich continent is at a turning point. By 2030, Africa will be home to 20% of the world's population and 75% of people aged under 35. We are on a journey to build an African industry, a journey to create a better, more resilient, sustainable and inclusive future for everyone. Arise IIP, committed to making Africa thrive.
So we start off with a little bit about the African continent overall. Right, a bit about the African continent. So there are 54 countries in the African continent. You have a mix of countries which are emerging, countries which are still lagging behind, and countries which are actually accelerating at a very, very steady pace. And as we all know, a lot of natural resources are also available pretty readily there. These are some of the economic communities which have been formed in Africa. So if you divide it, there is a west, a central, and east. Natural resources is something which is the most discussed about in Africa. So you can see, as compared to the world, the iota of natural resources that are there in Africa is very, very heavy. Of course, utilization factor is something that needs to be discussed, and we will discuss during the course of this presentation. Some of the major agro commodities very popularly used all over the world. They are in great demand. You have pineapple, you have cocoa, you have palm oil, bananas, various things, olive oil, natural cotton, cashew. These are natural resources which are found abundantly across the African continent. To be very honest, some countries, they have been able to take advantage of getting things organized and moving things in this direction to facilitate trade, to facilitate processing. Some countries are still lagging behind. But overall, ये जो natural resources है, इनकी availability आपको किसी भी कोने में मिल जाती है. A latest report on Africa, if you take into account the regions which are there, it shows clearly that West Africa is developing a lot more successfully compared to the other parts. So in terms of growth, in terms of GDP, it is West Africa which is actually doing a lot better than the others. Now we talk about Arise. I represent Arise, as I have been introduced already. So what's Arise all about? Arise is basically an infrastructure group. We are an infrastructure group. We are headquartered in Dubai. We have presence in 10 countries across Africa. As on today, we are there in 10 countries. Yes, we are not there in South Africa, in case if any of you would be considering that. We are there majorly in West, in Central, and we are growing in the eastern part of Africa, as on today. So when I talk about Arise as a group, so one of the primary things that must be coming to your mind is कि भाई इसकी key shareholders कौन हैं? So two key shareholders in Arise. One is Africa Finance Corporation, that is a government entity. The second happens to be ATIF, that is Africa Transformation and Industrialization Fund. These are the two major shareholders in Arise. ATIF is somewhere where you have a lot of private investors from across the globe who are invested. Africa Finance Corporation is a government entity. So Arise Group, there are three arms. One arm is into development of infrastructure with respect to ports and airports. The second arm is into development of infrastructure in terms of roads, highways, connectivity. The third one, which is the most interesting one, is development of industrial infra. Industrial zones, industrial parks, जो भी आप कह सकते हैं. For example, जैसे MIDCs है, all over Maharashtra, they are operating in various areas, various sectors, sector specific है. Similar way, in a very similar way, Arise is also developing industrial zones in different parts of Africa. We also have certain manufacturing businesses which are our own, but they are more of in joint venture with certain companies. So you have agro, you have textiles, timber, meat is something which has recently kicked off. Where are we located in Africa? You can see we are in Togo, Benin, Gabon. These are all West African countries. We are coming up in Nigeria. We are already almost about to complete our work in Sierra Leone, in Ivory Coast. In the eastern part, we are there in Rwanda. We are in talks with the Kenyan government to develop something in Kenya. In Central Africa, we are there in Democratic Republic of Congo as well as Republic of Congo. So the entire Congo region together. So what is it that Arise does which is different or which should give some confidence to an incoming investor or an incoming manufacturer? तो हम लोग जब एक इंडस्ट्रियल जोन बनाते हैं कहीं पे, सबसे पहले हम वहाँ की गवर्नमेंट के साथ टाई अप करते हैं. तो ये टाई अप क्यों करते हैं वो भी मैं आपको बताऊंगा. ऐसा हुआ है कि अफ्रीकन कंट्रीज सिंस हिस्टोरिक ईयर्स हैव बीन टोटली डिपेंडेंट ऑन रॉ एक्सपोर्ट. उनकी जो नेचुरल रिसोर्सेस है उसको रॉ फॉर्म में एक्सपोर्ट कर देते हैं और उन्हें जो भी चाहिए अपनी इंटरनल कंजम्पशन के लिए वो इंपोर्ट कर लेते हैं. बट हाउएवर इस चीज़ से सबसे बड़ी क्या दिक्कत हो गई वो ये है कि आपकी जो वैल्यू रियलाइजेशन है वो वैल्यू रियलाइजेशन वाज नॉट बीइंग सीन. सो मैनी ऑफ द कंट्रीज ऑल्सो स्टार्टेड गेटिंग फ्रस्ट्रेटेड विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द चेंजिंग लॉजिस्टिक रेट्स, चेंजिंग प्राइसिंग. आप जब इंपोर्ट करते हो, आज आप अपने देशवासियों को किसी चीज़ सोचिए 10 रुपए में दे रहे हैं, कल जाके वही चीज़ अगर 20 या 25 हो गया तो इट इज़ वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू जस्टिफाई टू योर ओन पीपल. So some of these governments came together and they said, boss, we want to reduce our dependence on pure import. We want to focus on manufacturing and processing in our country. So what do you manufacture? What do you process? So the first destination or the first station that comes your way is कि आपकी जो raw material है उसे as it is raw form में please export मत कीजिए. Encourage manufacturers or processors to come to your country to process that raw material locally और उसकी finished goods बना के उसको export कीजिए. So this is where the whole idea developed from. This developed from a very small country called Gabon, which is covered by timber. Almost 70% is forested. तो ये timber export कर रहे थे. At one point of time, Arise spoke to the government, made them realize that they are making a big mistake. They can actually process the timber then and there itself in their country. They can make furniture, they can make veneer, they can make particle boards, a lot of things out of it, and then they can export that. So value realization उसमें complete आएगी. Employment generation will be very heavy. So this is where we started. We started with Gabon. We moved on to Togo, we moved on to Benin. Each of these countries have certain raw materials which are very, very helpful and in demand globally. Like Benin has one of the best quality of cotton. So we have the cotton textile industry which is based there. Togo is fantastic in terms of its logistics support and connectivity. It also has its own natural resource of cashew, of pineapple. So these are the small countries where we targeted initially. We did a tie-up with the government there that why don't you also be a partner with us? So each industrial zone that we have, उसमें 25 से 30% partnership is with the government of that country. तो इससे एक और फ़ायदा हो जाता है कि any incoming manufacturer जो वहाँ आना चाहते हैं, इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं, उनको वहाँ की ब्यूरोक्रेसी के साथ डील नहीं करनी होती. Because all our zones are SEZ category, special economic zone category. तो हमारी जो वन स्टॉप शॉप, जो सिंगल विंडो क्लियरेंस है, वहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स के ऑफिसर्स भी बैठते हैं. तो एवरीथिंग गेट्स डन अंडर वन रूफ. This is, I think it's a common practice in Gulf. Some of you might have already seen this happening in Dubai, in Oman, in Ras Al Khaimah and various other places. So this is not very different. We have also tried to give the same model a better shape, and this is what we are doing. Gabon is what we just spoke about. This is a timber value chain which has been developed from Gabon. Many renowned Indian companies like Kit Ply, Century Ply, Green Ply, they are all based here in Gabon and they are doing good business. We have a particle board manufacturing factory also who's an investor from Rajasthan, in fact. So these are some real-time visuals from our Gabon industrial zone, as you can see. This is the yard for our log supply. This is where your veneer processing is on. We've developed our own brand of furniture, which is called Akiba. So the showroom is already live in US and the next showroom coming up is in Dubai. It's in Sheikh Zayed Road, Dubai. So it's fantastic furniture made from Okume wood. So Gabon has an entire ecosystem like I already spoke about. Traceability is something that we are working on today. We are working with some of the bigger brands across the world, that when you buy a furniture from a particular shop or you pick up anything from a particular shop, they confidently, the shopkeeper tells you कि भाई ये टर्की से आया है या ये फलाना जगह से आया है, लेकिन आपको पता कैसे चलेगा कि ये वहीं से आया है और यहाँ पे बनाई गई कोई कॉपी नहीं है या चाइना में बनाई गई कोई कॉपी नहीं है. So traceability is very important. For every log that is processed in Gabon, we are issuing a traceability certificate. For every quantum of cotton that is being processed in Benin, in our zone, we are again issuing a traceability certificate. We are doing this for every zone that we have. Carbon neutrality is something that we are dealing with very seriously. Our team sits in Delhi. Our India head office is in Delhi. So this is something that we aim to achieve. So solar is one of the things that we have been very, very focused on. The Benin and Togo zones, which we already spoke about, these are zones which are also completely in operation. We have quite a few investors already based in there. In fact, very recently, an investor from Pune, he is into textile. He has signed up for 3 hectares in our Togo zone. So we have 3 units which we were earlier using as garment training center. So we train the locals also in terms of work to make them more capable to generate employment. This is in conjunction with the government. So we've been training about a batch of 50 locals, say every 3 months. And some of these garment training centers now are going to become full-fledged production zones. So this company, it's called Leica Tex. They are from Pune, they are from Chakan. They will be manufacturing complete range of innerwear as well as elastic which is, I mean, nobody's doing it in the whole of the African continent, so you can imagine the market size there itself. In Benin, they are going to be setting up a plant mostly in joint venture with the Benin government into polyester. So that's going to be a very niche product as well, because there is a very big advantage if you're exporting to US and EU from Africa. This is our Togo Industrial Park. This is completely leased out. These are our sheds, our warehouses. These are real-time photos actually. This is an internal container depot and a truck parking area that we have developed in Togo. Togo port is very, very active, the Lomé port. In fact, Lomé by air has direct flights to Dubai, to Egypt, to San Francisco, and to certain European countries as well. So it's a very, very good central point, central hub for logistics. So this is the Benin Industrial Park. 80% of it is already leased out. This is a garment training center which I was talking about. You can see a lot of locals who are basically trained. Now we come to Nigeria and Congo. But before that, it's Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast zone is also under development. In fact, a lot of raw cashew available in Ivory Coast. A couple of companies have signed up, one from China and one Indian origin company who's from Dubai, have also signed up to process the raw cashew there. We are also looking at investors who could come in for tire manufacturing or for tire retreading, because you have plenty of availability of natural rubber, TSR, technical specified rubber in Ivory Coast. Congo Industrial Platform. So Congo and DRC, we are developing the complete industrial zone. We also are developing the railway link between Congo and DRC, the Matadi-Kinshasa railway, which is going to be used for transportation of goods. The port and everything associated with it will be completely within our control. It's going to be operated by us. So that itself is a very big advantage for anyone who sets up there. Nigeria is today probably the country which is the most discussed about in India, because a lot of aggression from the Nigerian government in terms of promoting industries, in terms of promoting industrialization. A lot of visits from the Nigerian government have already been made to India in recent times. So let me tell you the advantages of Nigeria. We are actually one of the late entrants in the Nigerian market. Nigeria में already काफ़ी सारी industrial zones operational हैं. उनमें सरकारी zones भी है, private zones भी है, सिंगापुर की भी investment है वहाँ पे. Nigeria is a highly industrialized country. 220 million is the population. तो आपकी internal consumption itself is quite high. And the government is taking very strong steps to control crime, to control any other, riffraff activities that are going on. So let me tell you that lot of Indian investors are already based in Nigeria. In fact, one of our competitor zones, it has been completely developed by an Indian investor who is from Singapore. And it is running absolutely houseful. So we are developing 4 zones in Nigeria. The first one that is under works is one in Ogun State, which is about 150 kilometers from the capital city of Lagos. In Ogun State, not only are we developing the industrial zone, we are also developing a cargo airport, which is going to be with the zone. So the opportunity is massive in terms of Nigeria. Local market is very active. Port is very active, and if you want to export to US and EU from there, that's also a brilliant proposition altogether. Some of our clients who are already based there, as you can see, the Greenply, Total Energies, M Auto, and FHC Medica, many of these clients, Star Garments, they are based in Karnataka. So many of these guys are already based here and they are successfully running their business. certain testimonials from some of the ministry people, some of the international delegations from France, from different other developed countries who have also served their testimonial for the kind of work that Arise is doing. These are some of the pillars on which we stand. Carbon neutrality happens to be one of the key. We are looking at inclusion in terms of employment, in terms of economics. Certain awards that we have recently got from Thomson Reuters. Now we come to the major part. Why invest in Africa? Why invest with Arise? So, industrial zone, warehousing, internal container depot, everything we are already providing. We are giving Indian investors a plug and play, a complete plug and play solution. You come in, you set up your unit there, you manufacture, you hit the local market, you hit the export market from there. Whatever you require, I am definitely going to say that we are not someone who just provides a plot of land. We give you the entire ecosystem. So it's not just the land, the shed, electricity supply, water supply, your sewage treatment, any sort of support that you need for logistics, for skilled labor, everything Arise is ready to supply to you. In fact, to promote employment, the African countries where we are in, the governments are offering a 50% subsidy on local labor. So if you hire local labor, 50% of their salaries is going to be paid by the government and only 50% will be borne by you. So this is being done to encourage employment, to encourage the youth to go out and work. The costs, the benefits, the taxation. If you manufacture in any of the ECOWAS countries, and from there, if you export to the US and EU, it's completely duty-free. So this is one of the biggest advantages that you have. A lot of business opportunities that are still vacant. We are aggressively looking for manufacturers to come on board. So you can see LED manufacturing, auto ancillary, we have waste recycling, textiles, food processing. There are a lot of areas. So this is what Arise does for you. We identify the right opportunity and location. We give you all the data required in order for you to know what is it that you will be facing. We deal with the government on your behalf so that you don't have to deal with any red tapeism and bureaucracy. We get you funding from the local banks. So up to about 60 to 70% funding we can get for you if you have a strong will and a strong project report. In case if you have a plan which you can set up on a larger scale, Arise offers a joint venture with you so that we take 50% charge of your risk. So this is something also that we do, but this we particularly do for Indian investors. And I'll tell you why. So the global CEO of Arise is an Indian. He is Mr. Gagan Gupta. He is originally from Rajasthan. He worked in Delhi initially. One of our major investors also is Olam Agri, which is the biggest trader of agricultural commodities in the world. So we have a lot of big names associated with us where you can trust. I know many of you because I have been hosting roadshows across the country. A lot of people come up with this question that the Chinese have already mobilized a lot in Africa. So let me tell you, Chinese mobilization is there, but not to the extent that we feel or we think of it. Also, in current times, due to the US-China trade war, it has impacted China's economy to a good extent. So there are Chinese traders, but when you talk about manufacturers, not too many big Chinese names are present. So the opportunities are very much open. In fact, the number of Indian businessmen there, it will baffle you if you go to a small country like Togo. Uh, during my stay there recently, uh, someone from our zone, who's also an Indian, he took me to a dedicated place where he said, you get excellent Indian food here, etc. And from there, I gathered the information that there are 3,000 Indian families, business families, who are living in a small country like Togo itself. And they are running their business successfully. If you go to a bigger geography like a Nigeria, you will figure out that maximum are Indians, maximum investors are Indians. So overall, I would say that this is the correct time to enter these geographies, क्योंकि ये हमारे देश जैसी इतनी oligopolistic market नहीं है. In our country today, if somebody is, say, manufacturing this microphone, you will have 10 options or 15 options जिनसे आप खरीद सकते हैं. African continent does not have so many options, nor does it need so many options. So if you are an initial market mover and you start manufacturing this microphone, you are most probably going to capture at least 70% or 80% of the market before someone else moves in and probably tries to compete with you. And let me tell you, in most cases, your competition is against an import. So what many of these governments do nowadays, कि आप अगर किसी country में जाके कहते हैं कि मैं LED मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट डालना चाहता हूँ, तो आपको encourage करने के लिए जो LEDs import हो रहे हैं उस पे higher duty लगाई जाती है, so that you are able to sell your product at a more competitive cost. So this is a good time to look at the African continent, to look at the market there. Challenges है, definitely है, but let's say 20 years back, India में भी काफ़ी challenges थे. Then eventually we started moving forward and the government machinery also started moving at the same rate. And today we have an environment where there are a lot of businesses which are thriving here. Similar is the case of Africa. You consider what India was about 15 years back, 20 years back. We were on that threshold from where we grew at an exponential rate. Africa today is sitting on that threshold. In our industrial zones, we have both codes applicable. एक तो free zone code जिसमें आपका minimum 5 साल is what you get tax regime benefit. And you have an investment code. Investment code किनके लिए है? जो लोकल मार्केट्स को टारगेट करना चाहते हैं. सोचिए कि किसी ने रिपब्लिक ऑफ कॉन्गो में या नाइजीरिया में अपना बिजनेस बिठाया है, तो उनके लिए तो डोमेस्टिक मार्केट साइज भी काफ़ी है ना. तो दे वांट टू टारगेट द लोकल मार्केट ऑल्सो. सो दे से ओके, वी वांट अ मिक्स ऑफ अ फ्री जोन कोड एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट कोड. वी से यू गो फॉर अ प्योर इन्वेस्टमेंट कोड, जहाँ पे आपकी 70% लोकल मार्केट में जाएगी, आपकी वट एवर यू प्रोड्यूस, 30% you can export. So that's how we work it out. But under the free zone code purely, 5 saal is like the minimum guarantee that we are ready to give. Yeah, please. Yeah.
You have taken us through the manufacturer potential. What about the export, purely as a trader, if you want to explore the market potential in the African city, any countries? So, yet the GTL facility, General Trading License, जो आपको all over UAE, Saudi या all over GCC जो आपको मिलेगी, वो अभी भी यहाँ पे लागू नहीं है. We do not have a general trading kind of license. However, if someone wants to do exports at a very large scale, what we advise them is, why don't you take one of our warehouses on rent? If you take it on a long-term rent of say 5 years, we can open up a company for you, a free zone company.
एक बार आपकी फ्री जोन कंपनी खुल गई, then based on the basis of that you could be trading anywhere. But if you're looking at a pure trading option, let me tell you, it should not be a route that you would want to take. ट्रेडिंग रूट्स आज की तारीख में या तो इंडियंस या तो चाइनीज पूरी तरह से क्लॉक करके बैठे हुए हैं. इनफैक्ट हमारी एफर्ट उनके उनके अगेंस्ट है. देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ इंडियंस सिटिंग देयर हु आर बिग टाइम ट्रेडर्स, जो आपके जैसे या मेरे जैसे किसी को सबसे पहले तो डिस्करेज करेंगे. डू नॉट कम हियर. आप यहाँ पे आएंगे तो कुछ नहीं है, और अगर आप आना चाहे तो वो सरकार के थ्रू से आपको 10 परेशानियां क्रिएट कर देंगे. सो द ट्रेडिंग रूट इज समथिंग विच इज अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट वन. व्हाट दे डू इज दीज गाइज फोर्स यू दैट यू हैव टू टाई अप विद देम, और आप उनके थ्रू ही सब कुछ करेंगे. तो उसमें जो मार्जिन है, जो मलाई है, वो कहीं से लेके जाएंगे, क्योंकि you will be heavily dependent on them. I'll tell you
so
why.
that is getting into Red Sea.
Yes, you are heavily dependent on them. कल आपको repatriate करना है funds, कल आपका किसी supplier के साथ या किसी customer के साथ आपकी कोई अनबन हो गई, या some violation of terms, you are totally dependent on that fellow there. You will have to treat him like God, and that is what they want. So I would say even a semi-manufacturing on an assembly there can be of great help. If you want to say import your raw material or your machinery from a China, from an India, if you do it with Arise, we are ready to make it duty free for you. आपकी लैंडिंग ये पे पूरी ड्यूटी फ्री हो जाएगी. You come and you do it. Because I can assure you one thing, यहाँ पे रूल्स इतने stringent नहीं हैं. अगर आपकी सरकार के साथ अच्छी खासी, अगर आपके ताल्लुकात अच्छे हैं, you can bend a few rules depending on the opportunity. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Please.
Do you have any idea about the market for the foundry industries in Africa? Because most of the people here are from foundries.
Tremendously, one, Nigeria, where you already have quite a few who are settled there. The other area for this, for the foundry industry is towards East Africa. If you look at Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, these countries, many of them, like Rwanda, it is so peaceful. In fact, even in terms of safety, you can walk around at 12 at night. Nobody is going to bother you. These are again countries which are industrially very active. So yes, there is definitely an opportunity. I could even connect you to our zone guys in Nigeria. They could probably even give you a more first-hand information. And our zone guys who are there in different places in Africa, they are all Indians. A mix of Indians and localites.
I was told that there is a lot of steel business in Togo.
In?
Togo.
Yes, there is steel business, definitely. But let me tell you, the hub of it is still Nigeria. The hub is still Nigeria. Togo forms a fantastic logistics point. Lome port se, it is very easy for you for any sort of transshipment. Nigeria, if you look at Lagos port, it's a deep sea port, but it's very difficult to even get berthing there today. It's that busy. But Lome is something where things are a lot more organized. And by the way, let me tell you, Arise is handling Lome port. So our men are stationed there. In fact, from our zone, the direct connecting road to the port has been built by us. So that's how we are facilitating things. But yeah, Togo, there is a lot of transactions are on. That much I can tell you.
And how is your presence in Mozambique?
We are not yet present in Mozambique. So I'll tell you something. Generally, आप किसी नई geography में जाते हैं, सोचिए आप कोई नई market enter करना चाहते हैं. आज आप Western India में हैं, you want to expand your market to the northern part of India. You will obviously first do a due diligence, a market study. At least it's going to take you, what, 4 to 6 months only after that you will be able to, you know, gauge कि मैं किन distributors के साथ जाऊंगा, मेरी वहाँ पे local setup क्या होनी चाहिए, कितने लोग होने चाहिए वहाँ पे. Arise before we enter any country. We do a due diligence of 2 years plus, because we know that there have been incidences of political instability in certain countries. Some of them you might have even read about in the media here. So we do a due diligence that extends for a very, very long time, and only after that we go into a certain country, because we want to be sure that our investment is protected, and at the same time the people who come in, their investment is also protected. Otherwise it becomes a very catch-22 scenario for us also.
Good evening, all of you. Myself, Dr. Abhijit Shetty. We are in the manufacturing of electrical goods. Okay, we are based in Sangli. I really wanted to start a manufacturing industry in one of the African region. Okay, because we are the almost 30-40% we are selling to Africa every year. Okay. My question is, if I start somewhere like Nigeria or Ghana, like ECOWAS country, okay, so basically my product is B2B product, not a B2C product. So if I start a company over there, is there any benefit from the government, like here in India, if it is a Make in India product, it will give some benefits to the manufacturer like this in ECOWAS country, not only for this country, I'm asking for the ECOWAS, like the
The entire ECOWAS.
entire ECOWAS country. So is there anything else?
Very big advantage. You
Okay.
manufacture in any one of the ECOWAS countries, especially if you do it in our industrial zones.
Okay.
One is exporting to the entire ECOWAS. Sorry, am I? Yeah, if you export to the entire ECOWAS, it is definitely duty free. The reason why an ECOWAS was formed is to address this. So if you manufacture there, the Make in Africa tag probably counts even higher than what a Make in India tag counts here. क्योंकि यहाँ Make in India में आपकी your list will be never ending. But out there, the list is still, it's not something which is too big. So you will feature on that list.
Okay.
And definitely the local government of that country, wherever you are, एक तो आपको labor support देंगे, आपको subsidy देंगे on hiring of local labor. And apart from that, whatever else you require from them, it's literally a situation where you can sit across with them, you can sit across the table and you can negotiate.
Okay. And how much is the investment cost? Like, say, here in India, I have a plant of 50,000 square feet area. Okay. So if I wanted to buy a land, then build up the area and all, so what will be the cost approximately, or roughly, if you can give me some example out there for this?
See, it depends. Like, for example, we have standard sheds which are about 5,000 to 6,000 square meter in area. Okay. So it completely depends on what is it that you want to manufacture, what's going to be your raw material requirement there, and what is it that you can source locally and what is it that you have to import. But let's say if you are setting up a full-fledged manufacturing facility, consider anything between 20 to 30 crore INR is what I would like to say. But then again, this is a very, very vague figure, because unless we get to know in detail what is it that you want to do,
Okay.
it's
And
very difficult to
yeah.
quote something.
Yes,
But
yes.
we are also in the process of developing something for MSMEs, where we can have a bigger shed divided into sections, where say anyone who requires a 500 square meter or 1,000 square meter, they can come and they can take advantage of that. So we are in the process of developing that also. We are in talks with the government there.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
last question actually.
Yeah.
In my product, mostly we are importing material from Japan, Korea, and all these things.
Right.
Because the raw material is not manufacturing in India, even
Alright.
though it is this raw material is not manufacturing in Africa itself. So import this raw material, okay, in Africa. Then what will be the duty for this, and how we work for that?
It's something that we can negotiate with the government and make it duty free.
Okay.
We can make it duty free or say at the max a 1.5% or something, which is going to be a very minimal cost.
Okay.
But believe me, if you have the correct plan, the governments are ready to support you.
Okay. How we connect with you, because I didn't have any card or.
It's there on the table behind,
Okay.
and you can beat me after this. I can give you my card.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right.
1,000 square meters shed, how much cost with the land and the building?
See, if you're looking at the land, if you're looking at the rent, you see, we don't sell. We always encourage lease. You go for a long-term lease, we can give you up to about 49 years also. Yeah, so even if we charge you, say, in USD, consider anything between $4 to $5 per square meter. This is something that's a mota. However, there have been discounts levied on this also. Because we look at the opportunity that comes in. And if the opportunity is something that can benefit the entire region, then obviously there is a lot that we can do. So we generally give you land with shed, electricity supply, water supply, everything. It's a plug and play arrangement. So you don't have to go there, you don't have to really build something. And if you want something which is customized, yeah, that also we can do for you. But that there is a time gap. There is a time gap in that. Even these PEB sheds, I have been talking to quite a few companies here in India. There are a lot of Chinese traders sitting there. They assure you that this is your specification for a PEB shed. Within 3 months, 2 months or 3 months, I will bring it to you. And you can set it up with the local contractor. Let me tell you, 6 months is also not enough. It just doesn't come. But you have paid your advance. So you have to keep waiting. So we are actually talking to quite a few industrial shed manufacturers, fabricators basically, those who can design and build. We've already got a company from Ghana who have signed up with us. We are talking to another company from India also who will be very soon signing up. So setting up of your infrastructure is something that's going to take it will happen in 45 days now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you taking us to the gateway to the Africa and how it is going to beneficial to the industries. जैन साहेब, मला असं वाटतं की साधारणतः लोकांनी एखादी त्यांची लीजर ट्रिप कॅन्सल करून एखादी आफ्रिकाची टूर करावी. सो कसं असतं की आपल्या एक स्वभाव माणसाचा जर आपण बघितला, बिझनेसमॅनचा स्वभाव जर आपण बघितला, तर त्या स्वभावामध्ये असं आहे की प्रत्यक्षात जोपर्यंत आपण काही बघत नाही तोपर्यंत आपण कुठली गोष्ट करत नाही आहे. ओके, त्यामुळं एखादी तुमची सिंगापूर म्हणा, बँकॉक म्हणा किंवा मलेशिया म्हणा ट्रिप आहे का तुम्ही कॅन्सल करा आणि तुमच्या काय डेस्टिनेशनला, बिझनेस डेस्टिनेशनला जाऊन या. सो यू विल गेट इट द बेटर आयडिया. आणि नाही करू शकतो आपण त्या गोष्टी सर, आपण त्या गोष्टी करू शकतो. तुम्ही आता मी मगाशी तुम्हाला जसं म्हटलं की आता MSME मिनिस्ट्रीची वेबसाईट किती लोकांनी बघितली. MSME मिनिस्ट्रीच्या वेबसाईटवरती तुम्ही जर गेला तर परदेशामध्ये जी एक्झिबिशन्स होतात त्या एक्झिबिशन्सला जाण्यासाठी जी काही स्कीम आहे, IC स्कीम आहे किंवा MDS स्कीम आहे, या स्कीमच्या अंतर्गतमध्ये MSMEजला फंड्स मिळतात सर. आणि बरेच काही लोक आपले जात असतील, इंडिव्हिज्युअल लोक जात असतील, पण ॲज अन असोसिएशनच्या प्लॅटफॉर्मवरती आपण जर काही अशा गोष्टी केल्या तर त्या सगळ्यासाठी उपयुक्त आहेत. आपण जर क्लस्टर बेस पकडून जर चाललो साहेब, तर क्लस्टर बेस पकडून आपण त्या गोष्टी खूप चांगल्या प्रकारे करू शकतो आणि त्याचा फायदा आपल्या उद्योजकांना मोठ्या प्रमाणात होऊ शकतो. आणि त्याच्यासाठी जर काय तुम्हाला जी काही मदत लागेल ती चेंबर आणि च्या दृष्टिकोनात किंवा मीडियाच्या माध्यमातून आपण करण्यासाठी या ठिकाणी बांधील आहोत आणि आपण त्या गोष्टी करत राहू. आज या ठिकाणी जे काही स्पीकर्स आले होते, जे काही लोकांनी आपल्याला मार्गदर्शन केलं, त्या सगळ्यांचं मी मनपूर्वक पुन्हा एकदा आपल्या सर्वांच्या वतीनं त्यांना धन्यवाद देतो. आणि आपण सुद्धा या ठिकाणी मोठ्या संख्येने उपस्थित राहून या सगळ्या गोष्टींचा फायदा तुम्ही घ्यालच अशी आशा करतो. आणि आजचा कार्यक्रम या ठिकाणी आपण थांबवूया. जेवणाची व्यवस्था आपण बाजूला केलेली आहे. आपण त्याचा आणि इंटरॅक्शनचा नेटवर्किंगचा फायदा घ्यावा अशी मी सगळ्यांना विनंती करतो. आणि आजचे जे काही स्पीकर्स आहेत त्यांना मी विनंती करतो की त्यांनी स्टेजवरती यावं ग्रुप फोटोसाठी. धन्यवाद.